In this video, I'm going to show some of the basics of sign numbers. The first thing you need to know about sign numbers is that every number is a signed number. If I say sign numbers, typically you would think of +3 or -12. But the number 7 also is a number. If you do not see a sign in front of a number, it is automatically positive. That is just a piece of math grammar to know. So let's get started with the first set of problems. So looking at this list of problems, especially the first two, you might think that looks really easy. The first problem in elementary school, you probably read it as this: 8 minus 3. Nope. Sorry, 8 plus 3. In elementary school, you read the second one as 8 minus 3. That worked for elementary school, giving the sign its own name kind of in between the numbers, so each of these being a separate item. But in higher mathematics, the sign of a number is a part of the number. It goes with the number. And so for these problems, if we see something like 8 plus 3, we're going to give the number that has no obvious sign, we're going to give it a sign. And we're going to rewrite the problem as a combination of two values, two different signed numbers. In this case, a +8 being combined with a +3. On the number line, we'll start with the horizontal number line. The right-hand side is positive, and the left-hand side is negative. So if I have a +8 being combined with a +3, I'm talking about a number that has 8 units long traveling in the positive direction, another number that's also traveling in the positive direction. So when I get to the end of the first, I keep going with the second, and a +8 combined with a +3 gets me a total value of a +11. And I'm not going to write the plus because it is a given in mathematics that if you don't see a sign, the value is positive. I'm going to continue explaining these simple problems because then these two more complicated problems may make more sense. So a +8 being combined with a -3. Well, we still have the +8 value, but now a -3, instead of continuing on, turns and heads back towards 0 for 3 spaces. So we go 8 in the positive direction, but then turn and go back 3. We end up at 5. Now, you knew the answers probably to both of these already. So now we get to the trickier one. Well, what if we begin with a -8? So we start from 0, and now we're going 8 in the negative direction. We begin with a -8 and then combine with that a +3. Now we're going to turn and head back towards 0, 3 units. So 8 and then turning and coming back 3. That leaves us still in the negative side of things, but at a -5. Another way to think of this is with money. If I owe somebody $8 and I get $3, so the owing 8 is a -8 and the getting 3 is a +3. Even if I'm a good person and pay as much of my debt as I can, so I give my friend $3, I still have a remaining debt of -5. And in the next situation here, where I have a -8, and I'm combining it with a -3, the same thinking can help us see what's happening. if I borrow $8 from my friend on one day and I borrow $3 the next day, the combined magnitude of my borrowing is an 11, and so my total debt is a negative 11. So those are 4 examples of kind of all the combinations of 8 value and 3 that you could have with positive and negative. Next, I'm going to set up a practice set. I'll set up 2 different practice sets. One I'll explain on the vertical number line, and then the next you'll just do on your own, and I'll explain at the end. So this is the next set of problems, and just take a look. Pause the video if you would like to come up with some answers. In the first problem, it's a positive 5 being combined with a positive 7. This is the type of problem you're probably already well familiar with, but just to get used to the vertical number line. The top of the vertical number line is positive, and the bottom is negative. So my positive 5 is starting from 0 and going up 5 units. And my positive 7 continues even further 7 more units, the total being 12. In the next problem, I have a positive 5 being combined with a negative 7. This changes things a little bit. I still have that positive 5, but now my second value turns around and heads back past 0 and then even below 0. So my final answer is negative 2. If I had $5, but I owed you $7, I might give you 5, but I would still be owing you 2. So I'd be at a negative 2. And then we start here with a problem where we start with negative 5. That is starting from 0 and going down 5. We start with negative 5, but then we have a positive 7. So we turn and go back up 7. And so that takes us back past 0 and 2 units even beyond. So my answer is a 2, or positive 2. And the final problem is a negative 5 being combined with a negative 7. So these guys aren't sitting down very well. But we go down 5, and then we go 7 more. So the total magnitude at the end of this problem of that value is a negative, and it's a negative 12. All right, so time for one more practice set. So again, these are 4 problems, all possible combinations of positive and negative 11 and 2. Take a moment to come up with your answers and then compare them against the video. A negative 11 combined with a positive 2. I owe 11, but I get 2, or I go away down below 0, 11, but then come back 2. I'm going to be at negative 9. If I have an 11 combined with a 2, both positive, I'm not putting the sign in front of the 11 because now we've kind of had our training wheels of adding the signs to everything, and now we're going back to just looking at the numbers and the symbols as you would usually see them. But it's a positive 11 and a positive 2, so we get a total of 13. Here we have a positive 11, but a negative 2, And so we have 11, but minus 2, we end up at 9. And finally, a negative 11 and a negative 2. So 11 below 0, and then 2 more still, leaving us at negative 13. So those are some examples of how to work with signed numbers. I should talk briefly about absolute value. Let's say I look at, here's my negative 8. Here's my positive 8. So I have my negative 8 and my positive 8, which would just be 8. The absolute value of a number is describing its magnitude, its size. Sometimes they talk about it as the distance it is from 0 on the number line. So a negative 8 is 8 units away. If I have it here on the line, it's 8 units away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from 0. So its absolute value is 8. A positive 8 is also 8 units away from 0 in the positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so its absolute value, and absolute value is shown by these bars that come on either side of the number, is also 8. So that's absolute value. It's about the size of the number, no matter if the number is positive or negative. Finally, I'll just put 2 example problems here that you might still be wondering about. Let's say I have 8 plus minus 3, or 8 minus 3. These problems involve some multiplication skills for signed numbers, and that is the next video. Look for a video called Multiplication and Division with Signed Numbers. Thanks for watching.